hope that we can repeat the win, but every game is a different story.
Exploding into action. Olympiacos in full flow. Mike James is going to go showtime. A masterclass in recovery. Monaco goes home with a win. Olympiacos are going to have to do it on the road.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Turkish Airlines EuroLeague Watchalong, where you get to watch the EuroLeague game of the week with yours truly. I know y'all tired of seeing my face, but we get to the end of the season. I'm Anthony Goods, representing Swish Cultures. And today we got a very special guest. Somebody call the cops. We got a shooter in the building. He's been burning the nets all over the world at the highest levels. And you know, for those that don't know, man, he's been cleaning up the glass too, man. He's been getting down and dirty over there in Spain lately. I seen that 15 rebound game, man. I got my eyes open, but please give a nice EuroLeague welcome for my man Alec Peters. What's good, bro?
Thank you. I don't know about special, but I do appreciate you inviting me on, getting to be a part of this. Really, I've to before, and you know, I've made a comment before. I'd love to be a part of it, and yeah, man, watching the game and air, my wife, and I actually with views. This is gonna be fun. I'm looking forward to it. I appreciate you guys for having me.
Nah, of course, man. It's a very special day, and you know, we're just glad to have your expertise. You know, it's not every day we get to have somebody that is currently playing in EuroLeague. So we got a very special game, though. We got AS Monaco versus Olympiacos, and if you please give me a minute to catch our fans up in case they've been sleeping under a rock and haven't been watching the EuroLeague playoffs. But everybody back home, if you're watching, please head over to EuroLeague TV, EuroLeague.tv. If you want to watch this game and all the rest of the playoff games. And because we're so generous, we want to give you guys 10% off your first payment on a monthly or annual pass with a promo code Watchalong10. That is Watchalong in the number 10, but that excludes those of you that live in Italy and Spain. But as I said earlier, I'm going to catch you guys up. Last game, Monaco beat Olympiacos. And if you were here on the Watchalong, you got to see the damage. Monaco won 72-96, and in game two, they're now tied 1-1. So we're gonna see who's gonna take advantage of this series today. I was kind of disappointed with Olympiacos' performance at home, but we'll see if they can bounce back. And other scores around the league, Ephes was able to defeat Milan 77-65. Ephes is now up 2-1 in that series. And as you may have heard, Maccabi has now been eliminated from the playoffs as they lost to Madrid 76-87. And I guess nobody's going to be asking me for advice because I thought that series was going to go a bit longer, but apparently I was wrong. But here we are, game three of this series, Olympiacos and Monaco. And Alec, I have to put you on the spot here. Who are you going for? Who's your prediction to win this game? Not who you're cheering for, but who do you predict to win this game? We know you're only cheering for one team in this league, but who you predict to win?
Yeah, great. Your two teams. This can get two wins. Other has been decided with less than 50. And I think it's gone. It's alternated each time. You know, game one, you had Olympiacos dominate the game defensively. Game two, Monaco got super hot. And so I think we're all thinking back to Olympiacos is going to make adjustments. And the team, I don't know if it's in the 15 plus. We've been seeing the season see them in the head.
Yeah, I think you know, I was saying in the beginning of this series, man, it's you know, you're gonna be having the battle of the collective effort versus like the individual play. And not that Monaco plays strictly individual, but they have some good players that can kind of create opportunities. And Mike James and Dwayne Bacon played great halves. Dwayne in the first half and Mike in the second half of that other game, and kind of gave Olympiacos problems. But Olympiacos is going to have a collective effort on both ends, especially playing on the road. Monaco's not an easy place to win, not necessarily because of the atmosphere, but maybe it's maybe it's the yachts. You know what I'm saying? Maybe it's the weather. I'm not sure what it is, but it's definitely not an easy place to just walk in there and get a win. So we'll see. But looking at these the starting five here, man, is there a matchup you're particularly interested in this particular game?
I actually love Mike James thing that we have on. You're going to see more of a usage point with Mike. You're going to see that not going to use a lot. Also, trying to change the game, his defense, his hustle points, his scrappiness, and so I love watching that. I love seeing the dynamic of that, and we're going to see who gets the better of the two.
Yeah, no, I definitely like that matchup there, man. And I think, yeah, man, I think the battle of the bigs, man. I think the bigs are gonna kind of they're gonna put their foot in to this series today. I'm looking at Monte Eunice and Mustafa Fall, especially early on in this game. I like to see them go toe to toe and see who's gonna impact this series. So yeah, I'm definitely excited to this game. Looking at the comments, excuse me, my man Pierre Martin says Ale Monaco. Okay, so we got some Monaco fans in the building, nice and early. It's good to see you guys here. Thanasis 77. If you want to watch this game, you can head over to EuroLeague TV. That's EuroLeague.tv. We got a promo code for you, Watchalong 10, and that'll get you 10% off if you live outside of Italy and Spain. But yeah, so Thanasis, you can watch the game over there. Everybody, please, in the comments, let us know who you're going for. If you guys got predictions, if you got questions for myself or Alec, whatever you want to get off your chest, concerns, we're here for it. And and we'll be here for the next 2 hours watching him. And looks like the fans and everybody's getting ready over there in Monaco. And this is gonna be a huge game, man. I think man, I think Monaco's going to take this one. Unfortunately, I think Monaco's taking this one. Olympiacos taking the next one, and it's going back to Athens. That's how I see this series playing out.
You think this one's going to be the dogfight, huh? You think this one's going to be the one that goes the distance? There's always one or two. I see what you mean. I think Monaco is the most different of any place you could play with the home court advantage because it is smaller. You're not walking into what you're used to seeing. You're not walking into what you're used to seeing as a player who's played in these arenas all over Europe. Like it's a different environment, man. And if they're the prototypical team, you got the number one in total points offense, 84 points a game. Like it's the firepower. If you can't contain the firepower, it's number one for a reason. That's going to overtake you. But yeah, I see it as Olympiacos getting back to being that top 5 defense that they are.
Yeah, no, they're definitely gonna have to beat that. And I think that, I think the last game and watching the last game, I felt like, Monaco just, as you said, they just made shots, man. And, they answered every call. Every time Olympiacos would start trying to turn that corner, Monaco was able to answer. And I think that is, I think they kind of played. I think they shot outside themselves. I think they shot a little better than I was used to seeing. So it'll be interesting as the game has now tipped off. We are almost 15 seconds into this game, and we have a score of 0-0. You guys watching back home, you guys can let us know who you're going for. But yeah, man. So what's your first thought seeing that arena there? What's the first thought that comes to mind?
That's might be the biggest crowd I've seen in Monaco. this season, but it looks amazing. It honestly reminds me of I played in major college basketball, and so the stadiums were or the arenas we played in were less than impressive there as well. But that being said, that almost created some of the loudest environments. You know, you have everybody in
Yeah.
close proximity, everybody on
Hmm.
top of you. They all know what's going on. They might be chanting in unison. So I
Yeah.
think this is great. This is what you want, playoff basketball, man. And like, look at where we came from, a year or 2 years ago to now. You know, we
Hmm.
played a playoff
Yeah.
series and Final Four last year with nobody in the stands, and year before that we didn't even have one. And now you
Right.
got playoff games, regular season games. You're gonna have a sold out Final Four in Serbia. So it's looking like normal European basketball at its best.
Yeah, for sure. And yeah, this is definitely, I played a number of years in France, and I've never seen Monaco's gym like this. And I think this is great for the club, man. This is great for the club to be in EuroLeague, to have an opportunity to reach a Final Four. I think for the community there, man, this is really cool, man. So I'm interested to see how much of a difference this will make as Tyler Dorsey gets an and 1 3 in the corner, and looks like he's gonna have a chance to break this tie at 3-3. We got an early foul on Mike James. Let's see how that we get a minute into this game. We got an early foul on Mike James. Let's see how that plays into to the rest of the half.
Yeah,
What's your strategy?
and you're in game
What you?
one too. If you remember, I think Monaco only shot 8 free throws total in the game.
Hmm.
So, and I
Hmm.
think they were 4 for 8. I think they only shot. I only think they made half of them. So, recipe for success for Monaco right away. Get to the free throw line. I think in the second game they doubled that with 16. So it's a
Right.
good start. I think for both teams. I mean, and you got Tyler Dorsey getting the three,
Right.
and then you have obviously Will Thomas. I mean, you got two teams within a minute and 15 seconds. You got 8 points. This is
Yeah.
looking like it's going to be one that's going to go punch for punch.
Yeah, for sure, man. And and I like Monaco, showing this aggression early on, picking up full, keeping the pace up, keeping the energy up with these guys, man. I think it's a good showing for Monaco. I think with a lot of Tyler Dorsey's getting aggressive here. I think with a lot of playoff action, man, especially going from game to game, man, this is where I think that coaches shine. How are you going to adjust? What adjustments you're going to make after a loss? And you usually see it early in that first quarter. You know what I'm saying? The difference is that, the coach was preaching. So, and Mike picks up his second foul at home, man. Couldn't get no home cooking today, man. What's going on, Mike? But,
Those were
yeah,
two that
man, I'm
were hard
interested
to
to see what
escape
happens.
there. I don't.
Yeah,
That's those are too hard to escape right there. Well, yeah. I mean, you're Obradovic right now. You can't. This is way too early in the game. You got to trust him. You got to trust your best player and kind of ride him a few minutes, maybe take him out maybe earlier than the rotation that you normally would. But you got to try and steal some minutes here, and we'll see if Olympiacos goes to what anybody would
right.
do in this situation. You got a guy on the other team who's a game changer for them with 2 fouls. Let's see if the next possession on the court they try and go at him, either involve him in pick and roll or try and put him into a switch post up. We'll see.
Yeah. Yeah, nah, for sure. I was just thinking about that. And I think that that's where, I think if you're Olympiacos, and I saw it, the last possession, I was like, Tyler Dorsey's getting aggressive. I think they're definitely coming at Mike, within these next few possessions, to see how he's
And
going to guard,
yeah, and that's
because
and
if he
that
can get his
that's
third, it's
every
crazy.
team's. Yeah, and
Hmm.
that's a lot of teams' approach, right? Like, even if the best player on the other team's a decent defender, you're at least going to get him tired. You're going to get him tired out. Now he's not going to want
Right,
to play offense, and that's
right.
as you see a big defensive stop there from the Mustafa Fall. But
Yeah, for
that's
sure.
always something in a coach's mind is like, if I can tire out the other team's best player, that's kind of what I want to look for.
Yeah, nah, for sure, man. And as you said, man, Mustafa Fall, coming up with that big stop, man. I think he's gonna be really important, in this game with his rim protection and and changing the shots. But yeah, Olympiacos, they definitely looking locked in right now, man. They looking like they definitely had a lot of shell drill. You can imagine after last game, shell drill was the was the focus,
Yeah,
man.
very
But
uncharacteristic of them. Game two to give up 96 points. You're a top
I
five defensive
know,
team. You only average giving up 75 a game during the year. Like that's uncharacteristic of them, and we'll see how that fares here. But seems
right?
after the quick hot start, we've had a couple possessions where things haven't been going. But yeah, we'll see. Because I mean, like I said before, Olympiacos, you got top five offense and top five defense. I mean, they're number one
Hmm.
at points in the paint. Their 2 point percentage is best in the league, and we'll see if they can control the paint and yeah, take advantage of that.
Yeah, for sure, man. And it's funny, man, that last game, man, they only had 10 points in the first quarter and then, just exploded for the rest of the game on their way to 96. Um,
Yeah,
it was
unbelievable.
it really was, man. It was crazy to watch, but yeah, it looks like both teams are starting to settle down as Mustafa kicks the pocket pass, man. I played against a number of players overseas, and I think that's one of the smartest things bigs can do is kick that pocket pass because you force the
They don't
reset, and
want
that's
it. They don't
something
want it
that
down there with their hand. Yeah,
right. We always. I mean, as guards, we always bounce that pocket pass. We're not going to throw it over. You know what I mean? And it's like your foot's down there, like just kick it. I had a teammate that was really good at that. And I used to hate it, man. He used to always kick my pocket passes, but yeah, it's funny to see him do that. It kind of brought back that memory, but yeah, man, it looks like despite it being a big loss for Olympiacos last time out, they had their heads high, and we got a tweet for them. It reads, "Our greatest glory is not in never failing, but in rising every time we fall," and that's from Confucius. Keep your head up, and followed by a number of hashtags. And it looks like these guys, oh, big time dunk, Mustafa Falls in the building. Um, got to the other side.
his his mobility is pretty underrated to me. To be at that size and
Hmm.
almost be um, almost unassuming in how well he moves. You saw what the defensive stop he had on Mike trying to take him
Hmm.
to the basket, and then here now, you body up with him. He's agile enough to make that spin and finish like that. He's had a great year, absolute great year.
Yeah, nah, he's really been playing really well, man, and yeah, I love his mobility as well. Who was, let's say, of the Giants, and we're talking about like the Giants. Let's just say like Papagiannis, obviously Tavares, Mustafa Fall. What differences do you see? Let's say like in those three bigs.
Yeah, you see, like Tavares is a guy that Madrid just funnels everything to, and it has almost like a psychological effect on guards or anybody that plays against Madrid. It's like, all right, that Tavares is going to be he's going to be in drop. He might come up and take the shot away every now and then, but they're funneling everything to him, and he's best shot blocker in the
Hmm.
league. So it makes you second guess a little bit when you're attacking the rim. You're thinking pass first instead of finish, and even when sometimes you do try to finish, you think you have it. He's coming from wherever, and he's cleaning it
Hmm.
away. So he adds kind of a dynamic that allows Madrid to be super aggressive on the ball. They're allowed to play that defense where they can just funnel things to the rim, and um, makes for guys that may not be the most best on ball defenders to be able to guard well because they know that they have a guy like that anchor in the paint. Same with Papianis as well. Papianis had another great year rebounding wise and blocking shots. Like it's when you
Hmm.
have guys like that who can control the paint with just their presence. And Mustafa Fall is definitely in that conversation. Guys that can control the paint with their presence, with their size, make people second guess, alter shots, not always block it, but alter it. It allows you to be so aggressive on the ball, knowing that there's somebody back there that can cover you.
Yeah, nah, for sure, man. And I think, and I was talking about this last episode or maybe it's two episodes ago with Sean James, another EuroLeague champ, but he was saying how we were talking about like it'd be kind of cool if there was a stat to kind of track, the shots that are changed. Because obviously we track blocks, but I think a lot of these guys, especially like Mustafa Fall or Tavares, like they change so many shots in the paint, man, and it really does help a defense. You got guards going in there with one idea and then throwing up, some nonsense. I think it'd be interesting if they could kind of track that stat. I think that would be kind of cool. But
Man, there's so many
yeah,
non-box score things that I think some guys, if you did track, you'd have a whole new conversation of people who are just great at non-box score statistics. And it's
what's another
something
non-box
that
score statistic that you like?
oh man, team rebounding, so box outs. So like if you get, let's say you
Hmm.
get a switch in the paint and you have a
Right.
big dive into the rim and you have a guard trying to finish on a big in the paint, shot gets altered. And not all the time will a guard go in and crack the knees of the big that just was at a free run at the rim. And I think that a
Hmm.
lot of times you're not getting the rebound in that situation, but if you're the guard or somebody who rotated over to crack back and hit that box out, like you just
Hmm.
created or took away 2 easy points and created your possession for your team. I think that's something that goes completely unnoticed because switching becomes majority of the game, right? Like that's what
Right.
everybody goes to down the stretch. It's what a lot of teams go if they're struggling defensively. What they're doing, they go to switching, and if you can control the glass with your guards and your forwards who are switching on those bigs, that's when
Hmm.
switching defense works because you contest a shot, your percentages are going to be lower. So that ball's coming off the rim, and who can get the rebound, who can get into the legs of the big and not let them control the glass. That's something that goes way underrated. I think something, and there's other things too.
Right.
And I actually think you'll see guys like if you commit a foul in transition to get a side out, even though that's a
Yeah.
foul on you, I think that sometimes should be a positive because if that team ends up with an empty possession, then you did a positive
Yeah.
thing. Like it's a good thing. You stopped a scoring play from happening and ended up helping your team. So I mean, there's
That's
so
a
many things.
fact.
We all know those players. We all have those players on our team that are
Yeah.
non-box score guys that we couldn't play without, couldn't live with.
Right. No, that's a great point, man. It's those type of players definitely aid in your success. But just to catch everybody up, we got a score of 11-11, 4 minutes and 13 seconds left, and Kostas Slukas hits the three-pointer. And speaking of this, he is the highlight for Olympiacos. In our player head-to-head matchup of today, we will be focusing on him and Mike James. As we know, Kostas is averaging 9.5 points. He got a 13 PIR in the playoffs, and he averaged 11.4 with a 14 PIR in the regular season. James is averaging 16.6 with a 17.5 PIR in the playoffs, whereas in the regular season it was pretty much the same. But we're gonna watch these two guys as they battle it out here and see how their progress impacts this game here. As Mustafa Falls got another bucket, and Olympiacos is up 16-13. Um, I think like last game, man, Monaco's second unit really carried them, man. Really kind of turned that game around for them. It'll be interesting to see what kind of effort or how they'll be
20
able
to
to
20
to
to
change the game
20 to
now.
0 in that second quarter last game. 20 to
Mm,
0 run in that second quarter last
right.
game. That in large part, like you said, was those guys. And yeah, we'll see how that fares. I think right now we got an absolute like a bloodbath going on. We got some fouls. We got early. We
Right.
got 3 minutes left, and we got both teams in bonus. Like we we got a slugfest
Right.
going on, and it's playoff basketball, man. This what you as a player you wouldn't have it any other way.
Right. No, that's a fact, man. Now on the in regards to the playoffs, do you so in your experience, what differences do you see more so within the team in regards to playoffs and regular season? Do you notice a difference in, let's just say, team attitude, the focus, and then obviously like, the coaches that you had, like, was there a change in the playbook? Did they bring out that secondary playbook and things of that nature.
Yeah, so I got super lucky my first year. I got to play on a team with a team full of guys who had won championships, Final Fours, multiple Final Fours, and I was kind of the new guy walking into a situation where it was expected of us to do it again. So the approach come playoff time, I was sitting around just mesmerized at how even keel guys were, and it wasn't like they would be hyper focused when they needed to be, but they also knew like, hey, what got us here? We can't derive from that. Like that, we are who we
Mhm.
are. You can't abandon what makes our team good and like reinvent and say, okay, we're in the playoffs now. This is the third time that we're playing this team, fourth time we're playing this team. We need to try something just extra different to give them a different, like it's like no, it's like you have two teams, do what you do the best and then make a few wrinkles, a few
Right.
changes here and there based on what you're seeing over the course of the game. But I think these teams, what got them to this point, you got to stay true to that and you can't abandon
Yeah.
that, and it's what's going to give you the confidence and to move on and to play these games. So yeah, you'll see little wrinkles here and there, but I think you're going to see the same recipe. Like for Monaco, they're going to try and score a ton of points like they did in game two, create steals, which
Right.
they're really good at as well, transition,
Hmm.
and Olympiacos is going to kind of control the paint and try and keep the defense tough. So I don't think you're going to see those guys derive from the usual script.
Right. Yeah, nah, definitely not, man. And as we see Paris Lee in the game, man, he definitely impacted that game last game. And as Mike James goes to the bench, they were able to survive without him picking up his third foul. But we got an interesting collection of fans here in the comments. We have Nino Gaglidarni. He's a Monaco fan. He says Ale Monaco. And now we have Senges appears to be a Ephes and a Fenerbahce fan. So I'm just going to take it that you probably live in Turkey. But welcome to the show. And, everybody else, let us know who y'all cheering for. We got a score 18-14 with a minute 42 left in the first quarter. Olympiacos is definitely fighting, man. I mean, both teams are playing their hearts out right now, man. I feel the sense of urgency. My volume's down low, but I could feel the tension. I can feel the
Yeah,
sense of urgency on both sides, man. It's
and it's coming out in the physicality as you see. We got fouls on one end.
hmm
We got minute 42 left in the first. We're in the first quarter, mind you, and
right.
we got free throws coming again for Monaco. Like I said, last game they doubled up their free throw attempts and it led to a blowout victory. We'll see if that kind of recipe comes true for them again today. They've already been to the free throw line plenty in the first quarter.
Yeah, for sure. And Mustafa Fall is he's been playing really well, man. I was speaking about him at the top of the show, man, and he's already, put his foot in the game, man. We got 6 points, 2 rebounds, 3 for 3, and he's got a block to add to that. So he's been playing well. Hopefully he continues to do so. And we'll see
Picks up another
how
foul
he
right there.
progresses. Yeah, he did. He did. Heads up play by Inducich, man.
So this
Heads
is
up
that
play. I used
man.
to I used to hate those. I used to hate those calls. Those free movement calls, like you pass it and you
So,
keep running, and then somebody takes a charge. Like, yo,
so I'm a charge guy, right? So like for me, I do that. But on the other end,
okay,
I hate it. I absolutely hate
right,
it. I hate it.
right,
Like
right,
you're running in transition, you don't see what's going on. All of a sudden, you knock somebody over. The ref has a whistle, and before you can even turn around to see who it was, fouls on you. But on the other end of it, like because of me and how I play, like that's totally what I'm aiming to do. Sometimes if I see a big player or somebody rolling to the rim and I
right,
have space, and so yeah, it's you hate those guys, but you love having them on your team.
right, for sure, man. It's have you always been a charge guy, or when did that develop?
Always in high school, I learned pretty on that I was never going to be uber athletic. I was never going to be
Hmm.
the guy that wowed with verticality or like
Hmm.
super quick, anything like that. I was going to have to learn positioning. I was going to have to learn timing, where to be, how to be somewhere in the right spot efficiently. How can I move efficiently? And so taking charges was something that my high school coach just instilled in me from the beginning, made me realize like this can add value, and it's a skill
Hmm.
that I think not very many people do possess, like being able to time it right, draw the charge in all aspects, not just being under the basket and somebody coming to the rim. Like you saw there on a pick and roll, you can take a charge on a guy rolling to the rim.
Right.
On the ball defending, like when to fall at the right time to get the charge. And
Hmm.
I think it's something that only few players really do possess the knack for it.
Yeah. Nah, for sure, man. And I wanted to ask you, as it looks like, man, Monaco's just making these hustle plays, and yeah, they now they've taken the lead as we got 20 seconds left. 20 seconds left. Monaco's up 20-18. Let's see how they end this first quarter. I'll save my question for the next quarter here as Slukas draws a foul. Looks like he'll be going to the line. How many fouls have they called so far? My goodness, this is we're gonna have
We're
it's gonna
setting
be
the
interesting to
tone
see
for a
how the
2.5
foul
hour game.
man. But I think it's gonna play out in the fourth quarter though. We'll see who's in foul trouble. Come the end of this game, man, because we're gonna have to carry these fouls on with us. As the game continues, but. Yeah, they've been calling this game tight, man. I think they wanted to. I think they had a sense that this game was going to be physical. They're trying to keep it under control, but yeah,
Yeah,
there's
game
a.
three is crucial. When it's a 1-1, man, that game three
Hmm.
is everything. It's best of five. That's the difference between you having that
Right,
breathing room type of confidence and you having that like back to the wall. We got to do
right,
something now.
right, man. You're gonna be faced with an elimin. Somebody's gonna be faced with an elimination game, after this. So it's yeah, it's tough. So we got 5.6 seconds. Looks like Mike James is gonna take this last shot of the first quarter. And
Monaco's got to be
did they
kind of
call a foul on it?
encouraged to.
They called a foul on
Looks
that.
like it.
Okay. Mike got fouled. Shaq McKissick fouls Mike
Well,
on the three at the oh yeah, he got him right there on the elbow.
hmm,
Got him right there on the elbow, man. And I thought his first foul, and this is what I was gonna bring up. His first foul, I don't know if you remember on Dwayne Bacon on the post up, it's like
yep.
Bacon gave him a bump, and then I think he got frustrated, and then he wanted to push back, and then he reached in, and then Bacon was able to get the foul. But it's just funny, like on post defense, more so with guards and wings. But it's like when things get physical there, I feel like you know I think guards and wings tend to lose their cool a little bit. When things start to bang a little bit like that, as opposed to bigs. I guess bigs are a little more used to it, and they know how to be a little more savvy down there. But I just thought Shaq should have stayed a little more composed. But I think he kind of acted emotionally and picked up his first foul on the post.
Yeah, it's interesting. I think it goes both ways, right? When you have a big that switches on a small, every big likes to think like I'm a perimeter defender, I can stay in front. And so they'll either get
Hmm.
over aggressive or they'll get too laid back. Like same thing with guards on the
Yeah.
post. They don't want to believe that this guy's going to back me into the basket and score. So
Right.
after the first bump, they feel that first bump and they're like, oh, uh-oh,
Yeah, if you lose that, if
I
you
might
lose
be at
that
the
first bump, you like, nah, 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 nah. This is my manhood down
yeah.
here. This is my man.
I got the disadvantage here. I'm not playing around with this one. So I think yeah, it happens everywhere because even me as a quote unquote big. I mean, I know I play on the perimeter a
Right,
lot, but like we're
right,
switching a lot and I'm on a guard and here comes the ISO. I'm thinking to myself like, all right, like I got this. Like I could stay in front. And obviously,
right,
sometimes you get the best of it, sometimes you don't. And
right,
I
right,
know it's
right,
got to go the other way around for guards when they switch on the guys and they get taken down low. They're thinking like, oh, yeah, I'm underneath him. I'm pushing. I'm strong enough. And
right.
yeah,
No,
it
that
goes. It
that's
goes.
a that's a
You see it
fact.
both.
But then too, the mental game of losing the switch. If you have the advantage on whatever it is, the mental game of losing that switch it's a high pressure situation because like the next time you switch, the ball's going the other way. It's almost like you have
There's a
to,
chance you
especially
could.
bigs.
there's a chance you could end up on Swish cultures in the wrong or right way, just a matter of what happens, right?
Right. Right, man. And looks like that's the end of the first quarter. Monaco is back to their scoring ways as they have 23 points to Olympiacos' 19 at the end of the first quarter. And right now, since we're at the first quarter break, we're right in the middle of the playoffs and things are starting to take shape as we're gonna take a look here at the playoff tree. Madrid is the first team to make it to the Final Four, and Milan Ephes is now 2-1, and both of tonight's ties are 1-1. So Ali, who you think is making the Final Four? If you had to choose right here, right now, set in stone.
Yeah, I mean, Madrid obviously. Madrid obviously is in, no, the easiest pick I could make. I think Ephes, maybe I might, you could call me biased if you want, having played with those guys, but I think they're just a team that they beat themselves. If they come to play, they show up and they're ready. That who's going to stop a two-headed punch like Larkin and Misic? It's just, one gives it up,
Hmm.
the other one takes it, and you saw that I think the last game against Milan towards the end of the game there when
Hmm.
Shane took over at the end, and when he was getting doubled and Milan was throwing two at him, you give it to give
Hmm.
it to Misic, and he goes and makes a play.
Right.
And they have guys around him too that support really well, and they have the continuity.
Hmm.
So I'd have a hard time thinking that they wouldn't be right there in the mix again. And all love for my guys Sergio Rodriguez and Kyle Hines on the other side. I mean, those guys have been
Hmm.
making Final Fours for you know as many years as I've been playing basketball. It just seems like
Right.
it's ridiculous the careers they put together. But I'd go with them. Obviously, Madrid's in it. Olympiacos, I feel, is going to pull out the series here with Monaco. I do think it's going to be tough. Like you said, it could go five. We'll
Hmm.
see what kind of back and forth we get. And obviously, this first quarter is a good indication of the competitiveness we have there. And then I think
Yeah.
Barcelona will end up getting back to their ways of being the best team in Europe this past year, both in the ACB and in EuroLeague,
Hmm.
being the number one team. I think they've got just firepower, and they do things. They're really well coached, really well balanced, and it'd be hard to see them not make it again back to the Final Four.
Yeah. Yeah. Nah, for sure, man. I definitely have it going the same way as you. And for those that don't know, Barcelona is up 49-31 at halftime against Munich. They're having a great game on the road as we check in. Mirotic has 12 points, 4 rebounds, and Smits has 10, and Laprovitola has 9. So that game is it's an 18-point differential, at the moment. But our game here, Monaco Olympiacos has gotten started again for the second quarter. It's still a 4-point lead, 23-19, and yeah, with 9 minutes to go, as Dante Hall
Up top,
gets another dunk. Man,
that's such that's such a threat to
he's tough.
have when you have a lob threat. When you have a lob threat on your
Hmm.
team like that, it's pick and roll is obviously majority of the game. It gives you the most advantage. It gives you the best chances in offense and defense. It puts you at the greatest disadvantage. And if you have a lob guy like that and a good decision
Right.
maker at point guard, it's a recipe for some easy baskets both on the perimeter and down low. And Dante Hall's been an
Uh,
absolute crazy lob threat this year.
yeah, for sure. He's yeah, he's been making some plays above the rim, man. He's a jumping jack. But we're gonna go back to Mustafa Fall's dunk from we're gonna go back to Mustafa Fall's dunk back in the first quarter. Is be looking forward to him getting back in the game, man. And
Spins
I
away
think
from Monte Eunice.
I think
Mustafa.
Olympiacos is missing him more ways than one right now, as Monaco's starting to click on the offensive end. But what they call right
Mm.
there, was that a charge? They call block or charge on
They,
that.
I think they called a charge on that one. I thought I saw Walk Up get up a little frustrated with what was going on. So
Okay.
um, we'll see here with
Oh, he's getting free throws. That's a block.
Never
So
mind. Yep, they must
25,
have changed. I
23.
thought I saw a bad reaction from him initially, so
Right.
so I let him believe they called it.
You know how you know how we get as basketball players. We hear that whistle, we automatically get defensive. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, man.
Who's that? Who's that on? Who's that on? It doesn't matter what's going on. Just
The
gotta check.
Olympiacos going to the switching here.
Yeah, man. And Dwayne Bacon hits the three ball, 28-24. Yeah, man. It's tough. Do you prefer switching defense, or do you prefer to stay with matchups? Playing against a team like
I
Monaco.
Yeah, I think it's got to be based on who you're matched up with. I think if you were playing a team that maybe doesn't have great guys that break down defenders, then
Hmm.
switching can become beneficial, and you can time the off screens. You can take away some of the stuff that they do, and try to make them make one-on-one shots. I think that's
Hmm.
something that you'll look at stat wise, and there's a charge there.
Yeah.
But Monaco's a team that has guys that can take advantage of this switching on the perimeter, and I think my way to go would be to switch it up constantly throughout the game,
Yeah.
in terms of your defenses, not just switching all the time, because then you can game plan, you can approach it
Right.
in your
Figure it
adjustments and your
out.
timeouts. I think you got to constantly be keeping people on their toes, especially a team like Monaco who's got Mike, he's got Dwayne Bacon, that
Hmm.
can attack from the perimeter, guys that can get downhill and that know how to take advantage of the mismatch on the perimeter. You have to maybe throw two at him, maybe switch up the ball screen coverage every now and then, but we'll see if that's what happens. Olympiacos has
Right.
been a great defensive team all year, so um, whatever strategy they got going on, I'm sure his coach Barzokis has got something up his sleeve for how to handle
Yeah.
Monaco.
Yeah. Nah, for sure, man. I mean, it's a tall order, because I think a lot of, I think a lot of, with Mike James, Dwayne Bacon, or Monaco in general, I mean, they have a lot of guys that can kind of generate their own offense, when things break down. And, and I think a lot of times, usually, you have one guy that you really have to like focus on in that regard. But, I think that, Monaco has the benefit of having, two guys that are pretty elite at it. Mike James, he's been key for Monaco. Last game, he was on fire. He had 20 points in the second half. You know what I mean? He caught fire, and that's just one thing you always got to kind of keep in mind is like no matter how the game's going, at any point, you know he can just kind of take things into his own hand and turn it around. But I think as Olympiacos is taking the lead 29-28, I think that the way Olympiacos is defending now, though, I think they're going to be in good shape in this game if they can keep this up.
Yeah, at the end of the day, you're forcing Monaco into some tough shots. Another one here in Westerman almost
Hmm.
made that. You're forcing them into some tough shots, and that's sometimes all you can ask for from a defensive perspective. And I know we've all had those
Hmm.
games where you're playing a team and you feel like you're getting them to take nothing but tough shots, and they're making them, and you're in the hole
Yeah,
8 or 10 points.
yeah,
But you go back, you watch it, or in the game, you just feel like we're playing good defense, and this
yeah,
team is just crazy hot right now, and Monaco's definitely one of those teams that can make you feel like that, where you feel like you play good defense and they're still filling it up on you because they have good shot creators.
right. And so, obviously, having played against both of these teams, which one did you feel like, in regards to your team, which one did you feel like was the tougher matchup for you guys?
Yeah, so I think for us, um, and I only got to play each of these teams once. I said, spent half the year
Mm,
recovering from knee surgery and that kind of limited. And so we split. We lost both to Olympiacos and we split with Monaco. But in the
mm,
second half of the season, when I was out there, we took Olympiacos to the wire. It was 80-80 tie game with a couple minutes left, and they came down, hit some pretty big shots, and then Monaco was beating the brakes off us from from the beginning, and we made a little run at the end, but it didn't matter all too well. For us, it was definitely a tougher matchup to go against a team like Monaco, who we just couldn't get a rhythm on their in their transition game. You know, I think they did a pretty good job on pushing the pace against us and getting us on we were on our heels relatively the whole game. And I think they got so many free run offensive rebounds and plays at the rim. I remember Dante Hall having a couple highlight plays against us that just took the wind out of us and ended up killing us. So it was yeah, that was a tough one. That was a tough because I think that was the game we lost, that game that took us completely out of the playoff picture of being able to make it to have a chance.
Right. Yeah, man, it's yeah, they definitely surprised me from the beginning of the season. You know, at least just looking at them on paper, I didn't expect them to be this good as Mike James hits a 3-pointer. I didn't expect them to be playing this well. So it's it's dope to see how teams kind of grow and change over the course of a season, you know, much like, you know, players do as well. But yeah, no, they've been having a great year. As Thomas Walkup hits a 3-pointer as well. We're going shot for shot here, 34-33. But one thing I wanted to ask you, so, you know, and seeing like Dwayne Bacon, you know, this is his first year in EuroLeague coming from the NBA. He's been playing well this season. But that's not always the case because, you know, it's just a different game. It's a different style of basketball. What were some of the hardest adjustments for you going from the NBA to playing in Europe? What were some of the things that were tough for you to adjust to on the court?
Yeah, I mean it's totally different. Anybody that'll tell you that's played in both worlds, they'll tell you that the differences are just there's a lot of them. And one of the things is I remember playing in the NBA and being able to cut through the lane and maybe steal a few layups, like uncontested layups, because whatever you had a mix up on defense, you were able to find just a clear path to the rim. And in Europe, I just remember like cutting through the lane and just being like pinballed around like a bunch of bodies because people were sitting there. They were chucking cutters. You were getting screened. You were having to through so many more physicality and bodies. And that was like from my first few practices in Europe. Like that's what I remember, like making cuts and going to set a screen and getting bumped off my angle and stuff. I didn't have a free run anywhere, and that's when you
Mhm.
had to kind of make your move, like learn to be more efficient with your movements and your timing.
Right.
I think
Mhm.
you had to, for me especially, being a shooter, being a guy that spaces the floor. In my first year, that's all I was asked to do, and I had to learn to have like be super patient with letting everything develop, let the guards create, you be there for when they need you, and that
Right.
that's not. It's just kind of a patience and slower methodical timing mindset that you have to develop, and that you have to
Mhm.
understand what's going on versus just like, all right, you're on the other, like in the NBA, sometimes you run down the end of the court, let the one-on-one matchup that's going on, or let the pick and roll matchup happen. Comes to you, great. If not, run down the other end of the court. Like, don't crash the rebound.
Right.
Don't, you almost find yourself just getting up and down the court for some conditioning without purpose. And in Europe, you have to read,
Right.
you have to adjust, you have to know what's going on both ends of the court all the time.
Right. Yeah, no, I could definitely see that. And so since being in Europe over these last 4 years, what do you think? What have you learned? What do you learn? What have you learned up to now that you didn't know about basketball, or what have you become more efficient at now, skill wise, as opposed to like your rookie year because of the difference in the play and stuff like that?
Yeah, I think I've been way placement, being in the right spot on the court has definitely helped me become a better offensive and defensive player. How can I get to the right
Hmm.
spot on the court quicker and being there and being
Hmm.
ready? And then also just kind of being more diverse. I think I've always had I've always had things that I've done well in the court. Shooting's always been something I've done great. That's what everybody knows me for.
Hmm.
That's what everybody
Right.
that's what I'll always get paid for, is because I can shoot the basketball. but I think I've always had like a well-rounded um, skill set, so to speak. I've always believed to handle the ball when need be, to play on the post,
Hmm.
um, to use my dribble to create something or close out off the post to create to pass. And I think that now in Europe, as my career progresses, that's something that I've been able to do more of and to highlight and to get better at. That's something I've focused and worked hard on outside of just being a guy that you rely on to make shots from the perimeter, which will always be the number one thing for me that I do,
Hmm.
that I will try to do to help the team. And that's just to be more well-rounded, to be relied upon in different ways is something I've been able to progress my career towards.
No, that's super cool, man. I always just as a self-proclaimed shooter myself, I used to always think back to like towards the end of my career, like being in the corner, like in the deep corner, makes such a difference than like what I used to do when I was younger. I started creeping up and you start creeping a little closer to the ball, but like I started to find like being deep in the corner, I would find better opportunities for myself and teammates, just being better spaced on the floor and things of that nature. Uh, but yeah, man, as we continue to play, we start to learn. So that's really cool, man. But just checking back in, we got a 38-37. Olympiacos is up one. We got 2 minutes and 20 seconds left in this first half. Vazenkov just went to the bench with another foul, and yeah, we got a 14. Looks like 14's on the shot clock as they're let's see who's about to it's Olympiacos' ball, and they got a side out. See what kind of
Monaco's in
action they can
bonus
get
now. We'll
to
see.
here. Hmm.
We'll see what kind of aggressiveness happens here with Olympiacos if they see that they're in bonus
There we
here
go.
early.
Slukas gets a layup. Man, I think this whole game, I think this game's going down to the
Hmm.
wire, man. This is gonna be a
It seemed, man, it's looking like an absolute blow for blow right now.
for
You see another
sure.
layup going down.
Yeah. No,
Monaco's got to be
they
super happy with the minutes they've been able to steal with Mike having the two fouls and
oh, for sure.
being able to save him in in that regard and be able to keep this game where it is and to have him in early foul trouble. This is
Yeah.
looking good for him.
No, for sure, man. And I think and kind of an unsung hero in this game, or I wouldn't say he's a hero, but he's been playing well, man. I think Will Thomas, man, as he just came up with that big rebound, and he's had some stops early on in this game, man. I think he's one of the players that doesn't get a lot of recognition, at least in the media's eyes, for things that he does, man. But he's he's good defensively. He's a sound player, man, and I think I'm glad to see him out there playing well.
Guy with experience too. I mean, when he was in
Hmm.
Valencia, I think they won EuroCup. I think he was an
Hmm.
MVP that year as well. So a guy with may not be at the EuroLeague level, but he has the experience. And I think with Zenit last year, they took Barcelona to 5 games,
Yeah,
and so
play
a guy that
well
you're talking about
defensively. He played well in that
with
series.
yeah, a guy that's been there, and that's experience is you see it at all levels of basketball. Experience is everything when it comes to these moments. Being able to adjust
Hmm.
in game, see it in real time, and not be overwhelmed, to be able to stay true to who you are. I mean, experience is huge, so huge. That's why that's why you see teams covet it. Come this time, that they rely on it and they go to it.
Hmm. Yeah, no, you definitely need it, especially in pressure games like this game, or you know even a pressure game and a pressure environment. I don't really believe. I mean, I don't think that this Monaco environment is as hectic as, let's say, the environment in Olympiacos, but um, that's where I think that having veterans that are a little more calm, cool, collected, has seen it, and a little more reliable. I think are key in these type of games. But we have a score run graphic that we're gonna get to, as you can see how the game's been going up and down as Mike James is at the free throw line looking to tie it and possibly sway the score in the opposite direction. I mean, he shot 8 free throws in that first quarter. I mean, Mike
Yeah,
might
I
mess
mean it
around and shoot 15 before this game is over. It's gonna be a 15 to
and that
20 game for him.
and that favors Monaco based on the last two games. And I know the score is looking totally different right now than it did, and that's good. That means we're gonna have a great finish, great second half to this game. And
Hmm.
yeah, I'm really looking. This is a good one. This is two teams, two different styles that are neck and neck.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, Mike he's 10 for 10 from the line. He's only got one field goal in this game, but yeah, man, I think just being able to impact the game, whether you're making shots or not, is huge. As Lucas makes a nice pull up, 42-41. We're coming down to the last 50 seconds of the first half here, and let's see if Monaco can respond. Got to get those rebounds. Yo, man, you think how much would you say rebounding is instinctual versus like technical?
I think to be a good rebounder, you got to be a ball hawk, man. That's the you have to have that first instinct of like you have to
Hmm.
have that every day, every time that shot goes up mentality of like I'm going to get this thing. If you don't have that, then I
Right.
don't think you can have the instinct. You know what I mean? I think that's the instinct you need to have, is what I'm trying to say.
Hmm.
The instinct of,
Hmm.
whatever the shot is, offensive, defensive, I'm I'm gonna get this ball. I'm going after it. And
Yeah.
I think you don't need to be an above the rim player to be a great rebounder.
Right.
And I think you
Right.
see plenty of guys who just position themselves well. And I think we've all been taught. I think everybody's heard this since they were younger. Like majority of shots miss long, and so to
Hmm.
position yourself on the other side of the rim. If someone's shooting from the wing, position yourself on the other side of the rim. And if you can catch the ball flight at the right time, you might know if it bounces off the back, the front, whatever it may be. But
Right.
position yourself in the right place and just have the attitude of like, this ball's mine. I think
Hmm.
it's a lot of it's effort based and just giving. I think you first just have to have that will to go get the ball, and that's where the instinct comes. I think rebounding wise, and you do have some of those guys that just have that knack. You know, they have that knack for
Right.
that ball that it just seems like they're the guy that always comes up with it. But those are the guys that they have that attitude about them. That's like every shot goes up, it's mine.
Right. No, that's a great point. And well, real quick before this first half runs out, we're gonna check in on our player head-to-head matchup. As we see, both Lucas and Mike James are having a good game here. As we mentioned before, Mike James is killing it from the free throw line, and Lucas, putting about four. He's got what, 4 baskets, 2 for 2, 2 for 3 from two, and 2 for 3 from the 3 point line. So man, we got us a little shootout. As Mike James looks like he'll be getting this last shot here. 9 seconds left. They take the foul. 41-45.
Two guys that are
Yeah.
proven closers too. Mike, obviously, we've all
Yeah.
seen a couple
Hmm.
times a year at the least, that he closes out the game with a big shot and comes up with a big play at the end. It's Lucas too, a guy who won championship, Final
Yeah.
Fours, a guy that's
Don't go
knows
for the
knows these
steal.
situations. No,
Yeah, no, he definitely knows the situations, man, and stuff like that. Yo, why go for the steal there?
yeah, I don't like that either, especially knowing that you have fouls to give. Just be solid, let the clock run,
Right.
let
It's
the clock
like,
run a few seconds, and then
like don't go for the steal right there. You put everybody else in a tough spot. And Mike James misses at the buzzer, and we got a score of 45-41. Olympiacos has the lead as everybody heads into halftime. Looks like our two focus players have been playing very well, as you can see here from the graphic. But we are now at halftime, and that means it's time for your halftime entertainment, and we will see you guys shortly.
It's our time to go claim what we've been chasing and win a championship.
You're working for times like this.
This really is fairy tale stuff.
Anadolu Efes Istanbul fulfilled their championship destiny.
They did a camp with Real Madrid, and yeah, they love
Interesting,
it.
Huh?
Mm-hmm.
My brother.
Yeah. Oh, I never thought I would see you here, man.
The Strazel inside, Antetokounmpo with the throwdown. Two of the youngsters, two of the future prospects for Asvel, showing that the future is now.
Tony Parker is like the role model for me. I remember one thing that he said, when you're telling to somebody what's your dream, if he doesn't answer that you're crazy, it's maybe you don't dream big enough.
Once I decided to buy a team, I wanted to help the youth. I just wanted to give back to my country, give back to the young generation, you know, and create an opportunity for those kids to have a platform just to succeed. And they're ready to attack life and just be happy. That's the main thing that I wanted to accomplish.
You have everything here. You have 3 nice gyms. You can come whenever you want. You can practice. So I feel like it's really an academy made for just to pursue your goals and everything. So there's everything you need, really.
Petrusa wants to go one-on-one against Tavares. He goes up and he gets the and one.
I just think if you're a young guy, you just find a place where you will play professional. Well, shouldn't just find a place and a team that will let you play like a lot of minutes and let you show what you can do. Well, then you'll be, you know, whenever the time is, you'll be ready, you know, to get to the next level.
Billy in the academy.
How's everything?
Good, man.
Good, eh?
Good. I was just talking about my kids.
Sergi is the soul of the team. A guy who's been with us for many years, that everybody is expecting to come out and win a game.
His experience for us is so important because he has been in these moments for a long time. He knows how to do it. We all feel how his mentality changed in these important games. He leads by example and is a key player for us.
Two-time EuroLeague champion. 2017 MVP. Few players have reached the heights of Sergio Llull.
Son recuerdos muy especiales, ¿no? Recuerdos que siempre guardaré con mucho cariño de, pues bueno, los momentos más bonitos, ¿no? Que uno puede vivir como deportista, el hacer bien su trabajo y conseguir los objetivos del equipo. Son fotos de Belgrado, ¿no? De la última Euroliga que ganamos. Pues bueno, foto de una celebración en el banquillo, pues todo el mundo concentrado. Y después la red, ¿no? Que siempre que ganamos un título pues intento cortar la red de la canasta y llevarme un recuerdo. Estas son de mis favoritas, ¿no? Levantando el trofeo junto a Felipe Reyes. Es especial, ¿no? Que el capitán del equipo pues quiera celebrar y vivir ese momento contigo. Además para mí fue un año bastante duro, ¿no? Porque tuve la lesión y llegué pues justo para jugar los playoffs y esa Final Four, así que fue un título muy especial.
In his 15th season at Real Madrid, Llull is the heart and soul of a Los Blancos side targeting a return to the Final Four. And to the arena with a clinched La Decima in 2018.
His experience is something that we need. He's been on these situations for many years, and let's say we always rely a little bit on what he's going to give us. It can be points, it can be rebounds, it can be a word on the locker room, a lot of things that a guy like Sergio Llull can give to your team.
Mira, un sueño jugar en este club y es un sueño que sigo viviendo y cada año es especial. El ponerte la camiseta con este escudo pues es una sensación única. Para nosotros es una motivación muy grande poder llegar a esa Final Four. Tenemos que jugar muy bien, Maccabi nos va a poner las cosas muy complicadas. Luego intentar ganar ahí, ¿no? Para asegurar cuanto antes el pase a la Final Four. Una Final Four en que en el caso de llegar, pues seguro que va a ser muy complicada de ganar también, como todos los años, porque hay grandísimos equipos. Pero va en nuestro ADN el luchar hasta el final, el intentarlo hasta el final y vamos a trabajar pues, para conseguir el objetivo y repetir este título en Belgrado. La última, la foto con la réplica y bueno, con el 2 ¿no? en la mano de 2 Euroligas y ojalá que sean muchas más y podamos repetir este año en Belgrado.
And that was a nice feature on Sergio as he's heading to another Final Four, a place he's very comfortable. Man, it's funny. Like I was saying at the beginning of that series, man, when Sergio starts playing hero ball, you know what I mean, that'll change the series for Real Madrid, man. In the last 2 games, man, he was clutch for them and turned it around.
Madrid's size is just such a problem. You know, when I think everybody thought, you know, with some of their recent struggles and what was happening with the roster and all those changes, kind of the little changes that they were making, that Madrid was supposed to hit the skid and that they were toast. But people forget, man, like Sergio Llull, like this 2017 MVP champion, Rudy Fernandez champion. Like they got dudes that, yeah, you may look at them as saying they're past their prime, but every now and then they're going to give you the flashes of why they were at the top of European basketball at one point. And
Yeah.
they did that. They did that this series when it came down to it and it came to time to play. It was just the perfect storm for them, and you know, for them to those guys, Sergio Llull, Rudy Fernandez, those guys that you would say are the older players on their team, like for them to step up and be those guys that everybody remembers them being. It's great. It's great for basketball. It's great for EuroLeague. It's great for Spanish League and everywhere else.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, these are 2. I mean, you know, speaking of Rudy as well. I mean, these are 2 legends, and you know, back to Sergio. I mean, he's part of the all-decade team, and as you mentioned, he was the MVP 2016, 2017, and as well as he was, you know, first team EuroLeague. He's been at Madrid 15 years. Like it's funny, man, because we brought him up last game or maybe with Sean James, and we were asking, you know, he's asking like how old is he, and he's only like 33, 34. But it's like he's been in Madrid
Right.
so long, like you swear like he's got to be 40, you know. But yeah, man, he's been there forever, and he's definitely a legend in his own right. But yeah, man, I think that I think okay, so let's just say Barcelona moves on because Barcelona is still up in this game here against Bayern Munich. By the way, that score is 67-51. Let's say Barcelona gets past Bayern. Do you think the results of that Barcelona Real Madrid, you know, obviously Barcelona's owned Real Madrid this year. Do you think the result will be any different between those 2?
I think it's going to be an interesting game. I know that's not the quick answer you want, but everybody's got to adjust to the way Madrid is now. They're playing with El Balde at point guard. They're playing with their size, and they still have super talented players in Tavares, Yabusele, Deck, they Koser. I mean, they still have a roster of dudes, and Barcelona has just been, so consistent against everybody. They'll drop their games here and there, but they've been the dominant force that everybody measures themselves to this whole year. And I mean, I've always thought that the teams that win Final Fours, the teams that do well in the Final Four, have the best guards. If you look at the champions from last year, Ephes, up until the year I was there with Cheska, with the best guards are the ones that carry you and carry I think your team to the final. And Madrid right now is kind of rotating around with what's happening with their guard play, and Barcelona's been pretty established with what they're doing at guard for most of the year. So I would shade towards Barcelona in that respect. But again, Madrid's size, like I said, they funnel everything to Tavares, and you got yourself
One
a
game.
ball game.
Yeah, one game.
One
Anything could
game.
happen.
That is one game's exactly right. We were down when I was in the Final Four at Cheska. We were down double digits to Madrid, to Madrid, and sure enough, made a run and made it happen. The Final Four is really, it's unlike anything you'll see.
Yeah. So what was your Final Four experience like? Let's say off the court, just the from the hotel to the media, the fans, everything. What was that experience like?
Yeah, it's fun to talk about, and I try not to talk about it too much because you don't ever want to be that guy that's just throwing that in everybody's face, right? But it's fun to talk about because I felt like I was watching it from like a distance because everybody else on that team, on that Cheska team, Kyle Hines, Sergio Rodriguez, Nano DeColo, Corey Higgins, Will Clyburn was MVP that year. Danny Hackett, like all these dudes have had storied Hall of Fame EuroLeague type careers, and here I am just joining the party in the Final Four, and these guys are walking around having done it before, and I'm like mimicking them, acting like this is no big deal to me, but inside I'm like watching it from a distance, like trying to just absorb everything and taking every little moment from being in the hotel to going to practice to just seeing the mass of people waiting around covering the event. It just was it was like I was watching it from far away because I really did. I tried like everything in my power to just act like I was one of those guys that had been there and experienced it before. But I was man, I was jonesing on the inside. I really was.
Right, right. Nah, that's really cool, man. And I mean, this year, Four is going to be in Belgrade. Obviously, it's not going to be completely like a Red Star game, but how do you anticipate that crowd's going to be, man, with the Final Four being in Belgrade this year?
It's a basketball heavy country, man. Regardless of Red Star, Partizan, who's playing there in Belgrade, aside from having the fan bases from the teams there, you're also going to have just a large population of great Serbian basketball fans, and that's it's going to be neat to see. I think you're going to have, and we've missed that. 2 years now we had it since we've had a normal Final Four. The last one was the one I played in, and it was in Vitoria here, oddly, where I'm playing now. And I just remember that being the most insane atmosphere around. Like it was unlike anything I'd ever been. And I played NBA games. I played, in front of thousands of people before in my life, and I that feeling of having 15,000 people, just everybody in there watching your every move. All these fans are in Europe, man. They care so much about what's going on the court. It's not about the entertainment. It's about the basketball game, and I think you're going to see an elevated atmosphere here in Belgrade, and sold out. That arena is going to be huge. It's going to be rocking with fans from all the teams, and just Serbian has some of the best basketball fans that you can find in Europe.
Yeah, no, that's a fact, man. It's gonna be exciting to see. But it looks like the third quarter is getting ready to get underway here. It'll be Monaco's ball coming out, man. And looking at the comments, somebody named 321 Go says Olympiacos 10 times in the Final Four, 3 times EuroLeague champion. And so just reminding us of all that Olympiacos has has accomplished as they look to try and take a 2-1 lead in this series here. And everybody back home, if you guys are, or those of you just joining us, if you guys are looking to watch this game or any other EuroLeague games, you can head over to EuroLeague.tv and you can sign up with our promo code to get 10% off your first payment on an annual or monthly pass. And that promo code is Watchalong10. That's Watchalong and the number 10. And you'll get 10% off as long as you reside outside of Italy and Spain. But Will Thomas hit a face-up jumper, and we have a score of 43-45. We're only 30 seconds into this third quarter. What as a four-man, who's one of the toughest to guard outside of Mirotic? Let's say who's one of the toughest forwards to guard? Yeah,
everybody points to Mirotic right away, and honestly, just a quick comment about that. The toughest part about guarding Mirotic is the fact that Barcelona screens so well for him. You are getting hit left and right. They're looking for him on every possession. It's not a typical four-man in Europe where it's like, you have your possessions where you're just spacing the floor. Like Mirotic, like Kalathis, Laprovitola, like they're looking for him every possession down the court. So if you're not, if you're lost, if you're just trotting back one possession, you think that you're going to be able to have a playoff. You're not. You're going to get screened. You're going to get something's coming for you. But other than that,
I got a quick question. I got a quick question about Mirotic before we move on to somebody else. But how do you feel about because they put him in a lot of inverted actions. Like he'll catch like a down screen and then come off a dribble handoff and things like that. So as a forward that's probably typically not used to guarding those type of actions, like how is that for you?
Yeah, so for me, it's something that like I practice those types of actions as myself. Like I'm an undersized four-man who uses his mobility and speed to run places, to get to places faster than other four-men to get my shot off. But it is so different seeing it from the other side, knowing that you're going to come down the court and you're gonna face action on every single play. And yes, Sikevicius, one of the best coaches that you have in Europe right now at designing offense and timing, spacing, and screening. I think it goes so unnoticed, the timing and the screening that Barcelona plays with and that they have on their team. Everybody, Kuric, Kalathis, they all set it, man. They all hit you. They all make contact on their screens, and it's able to free their guys up. And even if you are switching, even if you're trying to take it away, they almost put you a step behind because of their timing and their preciseness with what they're doing. And all of it, obviously, Mirotic on the floor is centered around him. But back to the original question, other foremen in Europe that have had good years. Yabusele's been really good in Madrid. Obviously, Vezenkov as well. Two guys that have, I think, elevated to something that did tough cover at all three levels. I think Vezenkov obviously shoots the ball really well. Yabusele can make threes. So you can't necessarily just short close on him. And both of them have size that they take inside and they take advantage of the mismatch. And when you switch, I think that's someone you can find when you find a dynamic foreman as a guy that when you do switch on them, they have other things they can go to. It's not just you switch and negate what they do. And so they're both those guys, when you switch, they either take care of it on the glass or they take care of it high-low, quick post up, whatever it may be.
Right. Yeah, I think I like both of those players, man. I think, this is I kind of love, the that four-man position because a lot of times, it's such a dynamic position and, fours have traditionally been taught to, space the floor a little bit, even though we're in the three-point era, but even back in the day, they would kind of space it a little past the free throw line, but also have to be able to post up and, kind of do, a little bit of everything. But there's definitely a lot of great forwards in this league, and it's always funny just seeing how things are, from video and, just how it is on the court, in regards to like your opinion and guarding these guys, man, is always interesting to me because things on tape ain't always what they seem. And this is sometimes on the court, things aren't always what they seem. And you go back and see it on tape, you're like, oh, hold up. That was a little different
Right.
than I thought it was. It's funny how that is, man.
Yeah, it's not always from a forward position. It's not just straight up like, all right, is this guy better than me one on one? Like you're involved in the pick
Mm-hmm.
and roll. You might be involved in a cross screen. You might be involved in a post up. Like it's different as opposed to like just straight up getting the ball and saying I'm going to go get a bucket against this guy. Or like I don't think there's any.
Right.
I think there might be that everybody has their moves, right? But as a four-man, you're like your way you're getting your points or the way you're taking advantage of your time on the court is involving yourself and and being a guy that can slip pick and roll, that can play out of the short
Mm-hmm.
roll if the team doesn't switch. It's that's how you, I think, exploit your time on the court or try to exploit your matchup. Not necessarily give me the ball and let me take them.
Right. No, I get that, man. And speaking of four men, Sasha Vezenkov he's had a great game up to this point. He's got 8 points, 3 rebounds, 2 assists, a block, got 11 PIR. He does a little bit of everything, and right on cue, he gets another bucket. So we gotta up that to 10 points there. But yeah, man, I've been impressed with Vezenkov in this game, and I mean this whole season as well. But yeah, man, I think he's definitely, you could tell he's one of the leaders on that team. You know what I mean? He's real positive on the floor. You can see him talking to guys, and yeah, man, I think as he goes, Olympiacos goes.
Yeah, and he's been there, man. Like think about the years Olympiacos had the past couple years of not being in domestic league and
Hmm.
not being necessarily considered one of the better teams, a powerhouse team like everybody's used to Olympiacos being. He's been there from the years when nobody was talking about him to now reaping the benefit of
Yeah,
being one of the better players on a team that's second place team in EuroLeague this year and looking to get back to the Final Four.
right, right. Yeah, no, and that was a heads up play, and they scrapping, man. Monaco was down. They was down, and then put on like a little 8-0 run, and now we got to score 51-53 with under 6 minutes left here. This game's definitely going back and forth, man. Love to see these two teams scrapping. Love to see it. And one of the beautiful things that we always talk about here. Oh, that's a tough shot. Missed it. One of the beautiful things we always talk about here is how, like in EuroLeague, man, everybody has to defend. Everybody has to give an effort. It don't matter if you're the leading scorer in the league. You could be the leading scorer of your team. Everybody's gonna be out there defending, giving their all, man. And that's really, truly, honestly, probably like the beauty of EuroLeague basketball to me, man. It's just the intensity and the effort.
It's such a rewarding, I think, season. I know it's a long season. I know everybody has their comments about the schedule and whatnot, but like you said, the effort you put into every game in EuroLeague and domestic league, you really feel like you're giving it everything you got. And it's Thomas Walkup with a nice corner three there. I mean, you get
Mm,
every bit out of yourself throughout this season, and
yeah,
it's definitely it's rewarding. This season is rewarding. I think um, these playoff teams making it, and Monaco obviously coming from EuroCup, making it to the EuroLeague playoffs this year. Like that's nobody's going to be talking about if they don't make a Final Four. Nobody's gonna say Monaco had a bad
right,
season.
right,
It's
right,
it's
right,
so
right.
rewarding for these teams.
No, for sure, man. And I mean, there was even something on Twitter, speaking to that as Monaco being in their first year, and just kind of saying this team is amazing. What they've been able to accomplish. Like, I mean, you think about it, just being the newcomers, being the new kid on the block in EuroLeague, like how special would that be to make a Final Four, man? That would be it would definitely be historic. Um, but we'll see. They got some work to do, man. It's 51-58. Olympiacos has put on another little run, a little mini run of their own. 4 minutes and 30 seconds left. We got Mustafa Falls at the free throw line. He's been pretty bad from the free throw line this game, but let's see if he can knock one of them down, and he does not. But looks like we get an offensive rebound from Zinkov. Oh, he lost it. But yeah, 51-58. And man, I mean, it's such underrated skill is having a big man that can make free throws. It's it's a blessing,
again, man. Say it
again. Man, it's something that, like, I mean, I don't know how much attention is paid into that, with these GMs or whoever's constructing teams, as it varies club to club. But I mean, I think that if I'm putting a team together and I'm recruiting a big, them making free throws, maybe it's something you don't think about too much during the season, but playoff time, I mean, think about how many free throws, I mean, he's left, and not to single him out, but I mean, these are huge points, Mustafa Fall, yeah, he's 0 for 3 from the line right now.
Yeah.
But it's just, man, it's like
it's something you don't pay attention to when the game is 15 plus points, like these last couple games between these. But when you get into the nitty gritty, close, 1 possession, 2 possession, everybody goes back and they look. Everybody loves looking at the box score after games, right? They take the box score, shove it in their face. They're like, all right, like, where could we have been? Where could we have made up the difference? And a lot of the times you'll see the free throw margin, and you're just like, we would have gotten a couple of those.
I mean, look,
we could have had that
Tyler
one.
Dorsey missed one, Fall missed one. That would have easily been a 10-point lead. Just right there, 8-point lead and a 10-point lead is a difference. It's something you'd like to take with you, on to the end of the game, man. But yeah, it's definitely. Oh, that's a good find. It's definitely a bonus when you got a big that can knock down some of those free throws, man. But we got a little 8-point game here, 51-59, 3 minutes and 26 seconds left. But yeah, man. I mean, so what differences do you see? Go ahead.
I said the emphasis on Olympiacos in the second half has definitely been in the paint. You can tell by just their offensive rebounding effort, and Mustafa Fall with the and one he had as well. Like, Olympiacos is definitely trying to get into back to owning the paint here. You see Zinkov hit a perimeter jump shot here, but
look at his quick trigger though. I mean, he gets that thing off in a heartbeat, man. Yeah, he gets that thing off so quick. As Olympiacos is now up 11, and Monaco's not getting they're not able to knock shots down from the outside here in this third quarter, and it's starting to hurt them a little bit. But you being able to play against Olympiacos, over the last few years, what differences do you see in this team versus years prior?
Man, I think this team it's deep. This is a deep team here, and you think about who you're exchanging. You have a guy like Walkup who starts the game, and total defensive presence, a guy that can make the open jump shots. We saw him hit a top of the key 3 there in the first half, and a guy who can change the game defensively. I mean, we all know the highlight play of him stealing the ball and taking it for a dunk. I think that was game 1 that happened, and to be able to replace that and bring in a guy like Kostas Sloukas that is going to make the right play 75% of the time, and a guy who's so reliable, can close out games. And it's just think about who they're trading in and trading out for. I mean, Zinkov obviously plays a much majority of the game, but then you bring in a guy like a Prentice or a John Charles, that both guys. Prentice is obviously another Hall of Fame Europe type guy. John Charles, a guy with plenty of experience, and has had good moments. I mean, they're able to switch in and out the players that they have. Dorsey at the 2 has had a great year as a off ball guard. in Europe,
Yeah.
probably one of the best. I think, Dorsey, double-digit score, 40% from three. Like, it's, a guy that
Yeah.
has totally elevated his game. And,
Yeah.
you're able to exchange that out and bring in a guy like Shaq McKissick, who brings a whole dynamic to the game that is just at the rim, exciting, highlight plays. I mean, it's just you look at the makeup of their team, and it's just hard not to like the depth they have.
Yeah. Nah, for sure. They definitely give you a lot of different looks, man. And I like the way their team is constructed. I called it pretty early. I don't know how early, but I called it pretty early that Olympiacos is going to the Final Four. It might have been like round 4 or something like that, 4 or 5. But I'm glad to see that they've been playing well and have made it this far at least. But yeah, I've liked their team on paper, even at the beginning of the season, especially once I started to see them play. As Slukas makes another nice drive to the basket, 65-53.
Play.
But yeah, man, Monaco just looks out of sorts, man. They're out of rhythm. They're out of rhythm right now, man.
It's high risk, high reward, right? Like, you have the best scoring offense in terms of points, 84 points per game. In Europe, you have one of the best 3-point shooting percentages. And on the flip side of that, they have a bottom 5 defense, and
yeah,
amongst that, they're also they go for a lot of steals. They put themselves out of position sometimes, but it's high risk, high reward. When they have it going, like, look at the plays they're able to make, just like that, like a play like that. When they're in their rhythm, it's impossible to stop a team that shoots the ball that well and is able to create plays like that at the rim. So, but if they don't get it going, like in these stretches here, and especially now, if they don't get it going now, you're walking into the fourth quarter with a double-digit deficit. That's a tough comeback.
Yeah, man, it is tough, man. And I mean, we got a 12-point game here, 67-55. With under a minute to go, 56 seconds here, and it looks like Sasha Vezenkov is at the free throw line. I see some people asking where they can watch the game. You can head over to EuroLeague TV. We got a promo code Watchalong10. That's Watchalong and the number 10 gets you 10% off your first payment on a monthly or annual pass if you live outside of Italy and Spain. Sasha Vezenkov has now extended this lead to 14 points in the third quarter. As we come down to a minute, I see Nicholas Stefas says Olympiacos forever, and Christos Bekos is Real Madrid. It's funny, man. We're getting all these fans from other teams in here now. This is it must be playoff time. It must be playoff time. Everybody's showing love and repping their teams. What is Bacon doing? Is he trying to choke him out? Oh yeah, he's about to get ejected. Looks like
let me see what happens
looks like
here.
Bacon might be getting it looks like Bacon might be getting a technical foul, if not worse. But
this is not where the frustration sets in. This is not where you want it to set in right here.
Definitely not. But I was gonna say though, like, is this where? Because I mean, we both played in this arena, and just to be frank, Monaco doesn't have the greatest atmosphere, or the greatest atmosphere in regards to it being tough for the away team. Is that where, in situations like these, like teams out of sorts, things of that nature, is that where teams that have, let's just say, I don't want to say a better fan base, but just a more enthusiastic crowd can kind of like pull them out of those lulls?
Man, it's times 10. So, like, if Olympiacos is playing at the peace and friendship, and whether you did something that stirred them up or they did something that positive that stirred them up, it's like a multiplier of 10. Like, same in Tel Aviv, same in Lithuania, and in Kaunas with Zalgiris. Like, I mean, when you do something and it stirs them up, it's like it's heightened, and instead of you like letting it go for a second, you're like, all of a sudden you're like, oh man. Like, I must have, really. It makes you kind of aware of it. Makes you a little bit more aware of it, instead of hard foul and you just move right on. You got everybody just hounding you for the next however many seconds or minutes about it, and it just times 10. on the awareness of it, and it's fun, man. That's why I think EuroLeague is so different from anywhere else in the world. It's the fans are fully engaged in what you're doing all the time, the whole game.
Right.
You stand up on the bench the wrong way in some of these places, and you're hearing it from somebody. Like there's nothing that goes unnoticed. That none of it goes unnoticed.
Right, right. Nah, that's a fact, man. But 55-69 minutes ago, looks like they're calling a intentional foul here on Dwayne Bacon, unsportsmanlike foul. Oh, it's a technical foul on Papa Nicolau. Okay, for hooking Bacon. Interesting. Okay, so it'll be free throws on both ends. As Unnoticed hits one. All right, so what do you see here? What do you think Monaco has to do here in this fourth quarter to turn this around? Obviously, there's no 14-point play or 13-point play, but what do you think they have to do here
I think
to turn this around?
I know the deficit looks like it's going to be a little bit far out of reach going into the fourth quarter here. I mean, it's not impossible, honestly, but their shot selection, I think, has got to get tightened up. I think you've seen too many quick after basket run in transition. I think you saw Mike's shot from the corner there, and then another Will Thomas three. I think it was off the one pass there in transition. Like let's try and slow down and maybe go to a Will Thomas post up. Maybe try and get the matchup that you want out of a switch. I would say just be a little bit more conscious of the shot selection and try and get momentum back that way. But you can't get stops. Then I mean, like right here, they just got
offensive
call in
foul
their
on the
favor here. If you
screen.
can't get stops, then none of that's gonna matter. So they got
Yeah.
to be hyper focused on defense and their shot selection.
Yeah, for sure. And I think one thing I was seeing with Olympiacos, man, is and they cut so well off the ball, especially Vizenkov, and I think that this is the time of the game, especially to get these type of stops. All five players have to be hyper focused on what's going on and on the court, and take the possessions even more seriously, man. You can't be giving up, offensive rebounds if you don't have to, or, backdoor cuts and things of that nature. You really just gotta settle in, play good defense, and start, capping these possessions off. But we got 40 seconds here, 15-point game, and Olympiacos with another stop. It's good defense by Papa Nicolau. And
Another
see if they
super
can get a
solid
bucket.
player that they've had for years.
Oh yeah, for sure. For sure. Vizenkov with another three ball, he misses, but so it looks like Monaco's gonna get the last shot. Mike James has the ball. Got 10 seconds left. Get the last shot of this third quarter, and see what happens.
He likes the matchup. He likes the matchup he has here.
Oh, he found Dante Hall under the basket. Foul. And one. The and one layup.
Big play.
That's
Big
a
play
big
going
bucket.
into the
That's a
fourth
big
here.
bucket to end the quarter, man. And that's 4. That's a big play to end the quarter. 58-71 if he can make this free throw.
I'm talking about a 12-point deficit if he makes this versus being down 15 going into the fourth. Gives you a little bit of a little spark here.
A little bit of wiggle room
into the quarter break, and
for sure, if you can get a couple stops, starting that fourth quarter and knock a couple shots down, man, this thing can look really different as he misses. And that is the end of the third quarter, ladies and gentlemen. We got a score of 58-71. Olympiacos is in the lead, hoping to hold on and force an elimination game for game 4. But I'd like to bring your attention because EuroLeague Fantasy has started again. Fantasy leagues could be turned on their heads as players select entirely new teams. Who would you like to pick on your fantasy team? Let us know in the chat. our fantasy expert, Ellie, is predicting a big week for Shane Larkin, Dante Hall, and Nick Calathis. If you want to go and create your own fantasy team, head over to fantasychallenge.euroleague.net. And yeah, so Alec, if you had a fantasy team, who would be your first draft pick?
I'm going with Shane Larkin. I think that's as safe of a bet from not only points but like the efficiency that he can play with as well, consistently throughout the season is it's just mind-boggling. You know what I mean? Like he's able to have 20, 30-point games look so easy and effortless because he'll do it on 10 to 12 shots, and
Right.
like it's almost amazing how he can get it going sometimes and fill it up. And I was actually a part of the game when he broke the scoring record. He had 49 in that game against Munich when we
Okay.
were at
Yeah,
FS together,
yeah.
and to be able to like be there and like be on the court while that was happening, it was like an existential experience watching him go through that. So I think that's first pick in my mind. I think that's a safe pick. I mean, there's numerous
That's a
guys I
safe
think you
one.
could take. I'm not numerous,
Right,
but
right.
there's a handful of guys you could take with the number one that are gonna churn out a good
Yeah. Right,
return
good
for you if
investment.
that's what you're looking for.
Yeah, so what was it like playing with Shane and Misic? You know, what were they like in regards to, practices and work ethic and things like that? What do you think they do outside the games that make them great?
Man, they don't waver. I think that's what makes players who've had great success in Europe, especially Americans, their mindset and their mentality just doesn't waver. Not a lot bothers them or shakes them. On the court, off the court, they stay consistent with their approach. Their routine is the same. They approach every day with the seriousness that needs to be there. When there's times to have a loose feel to it in practice, like they know when that time is, and when it's time to focus up and to know like, hey, this is the time we have to prepare and really get into whether it's preparing for another team and you're walking through the other plays, or it's a drill or an offense where you're trying to be sharp and timing and stuff. Like they have the ability to focus up when need be, and that's no different in those
Hmm.
guys. They stick to it. They don't waver from it. Good game, bad game, they're back with the same work and the same approach. And that goes for a lot of
Right.
the players I've played with, and I've been able to play with. I might have the best list of teammates in 4 years of playing EuroLeague, in terms of guys that have done it. I mean, you run through it and debate it, but like it's staggering the guys that I've been able to play with
Right.
in my young years playing in Europe, and to have the blessing to see those guys approach the game the way they do. It's
Right.
helped mold and shape me into being hopefully one of those guys in the future.
Yeah. Nah, for sure, man. You've been a part of some really, really good teams, man. And and I think that, any oh, Mike almost went for that steal, almost got it. But
Ooh, ooh.
yeah, I think any player, that has played this game, man. I mean, we uh we often say, iron sharpens iron. And I think, just being able, especially early in your career, just being able to be around, really good vets and things like that, man, I think it really helps, a player's career, moving forward. But yeah, man, we got a Thomas walk up update here, as he's been playing well this game. As he just missed the 3-pointer there, but he has 9.6 assists, 4 rebounds, 16 PIR. He's definitely a big part of why they're up right now. So we got a 13-point lead, 60-73, 8 minutes left in this game here. And Olympiacos is still locked in as Dwayne Bacon hits another tough pull up. Man, he's nice in that mid range, man. He got that mid range down. He got that mid range down pat. It's almost
Yeah,
automatic
I
for
mean
him.
it's be able to shot create it at his size and rise up and not have a contest bother him when you're at an arm's length. I mean
Hmm.
there's a reason why he was a draft pick and an NBA player. Like
Yeah.
he's got the tools and the makeup of everything you'd want in that regard. The size, be able to create off the bounce. It's just hope
Yeah.
Monaco needs something like this to go in. It's
Yeah, they get an offensive rebound put back from Will Thomas, and it looks like there's a timeout there as we have a score of 64-73. Monaco trying to make this final push as we're here heading towards the end of the game. But so as a shooter, and this is just me being a basketball nerd here, what are some things that you try to do to improve being a shooter? You know what I'm saying? And I'm not just talking about just getting reps, but like let's get a little more specific outside of that. Like what are some things that are part of, if you can give these secrets away publicly, but are part of your routine um that you wouldn't mind sharing that you think help you, in regards to becoming a better shooter?
I think the idea always when you practice, especially shooting, is everybody thinks quantity. If I get the most shots up, or why, I should be making. If I'm making 500 shots a day, why am I not shooting the ball better? I should become a better shooter the more I do it. And I think there's a time and a place to be that focused on getting as much up as you can. But if you're practicing bad habits, or if you're practicing to a point where you're tired and all of a sudden it's taking everything to get it to the rim and your form sucks, and then it's the law of diminishing returns, right? You're doing something to all of a sudden you're on the down slope of how it's helping you. And I think
Right.
over time my routine has adjusted to that. And I think in the beginning of my career as a pro, and even in college, it was quantity and quality. Let's get a lot up, a lot of quality reps, a lot of sprinting into it, like making sure everything's game speed, game like. And then your routine kind of evolves to like, okay, I'm playing more minutes now. I don't want to put myself in a position where I'm tired and can't practice, can't play the next game. So let's
Right.
put the movement in half. Like, yeah, sprint into it. Yeah, make it game like, but let's cut instead of coming from underneath the basket, coming out to the arc off a pin down. Let's do it like the last 3 steps or so to kind of mimic the
Yeah.
last bit of it.
Yeah.
And
Yep.
you form your routine around how your body, your mind, and your game is going. And I think for me, the one thing that I've always tried to do is make it unpredictable. Like, don't just block practice it. Don't say I'm going to make 10 from the corner. Right now, you can do that. That's a great way to like stay rhythm, to keep the rhythm, and to work on form and things like that. But when I'm working on shooting in the summer and after practice, before practice, I don't want one shot, 2 shot to be the same. I want maybe a
Okay.
spot shot in the corner. Then I might cut up to the wing and shoot another shot, shoot another spot shot, trail. I want each shot to look different, so that not only am I training my form, my shooting, my body, I'm training my mind. I'm constantly thinking about, okay, I have to do a different movement. I have to,
Right.
because you're never gonna, rarely do you get the same shot twice in a row in a basketball game.
Right.
And I think that as game-like as you can make it, as unpredictable as you can make it, where you might grab a coach and say, hey, I want you to mix it up. I want you to either fly at me to where I got to work on flyby, fake shot, or I want you to just close in front, hand up, and you have to stand there and you have to work on this unpredictability that makes it game-like. And it also it's the idea. I know I'm rambling now, but I know it's the idea of if you practice something so hard and so fast, it's going to make doing it in the game much slower and much easier for you. So do it at speeds that make it
Yeah.
uncomfortable for you. Run into the catch that's super fast. Make it uncomfortable for you so that in the game nothing feels too fast. And that's
Right.
just something I've been able to form and emulate over my career, and it's been different. It's been I'm changing all the time. I definitely have my routines I stick to, but I'm always open to adding things and to improving things.
Okay. No, that's really cool, man. I think it's as people that are outside of a particular team or a player, man, we see the product, we don't always see the process. So I always like to get in, and see what guys' process is, to see why they're great at what they do in particular. But for the fans back home, we have a very, very close game, and things are starting to turn around here. We got a score of 69-73. Slukas just had another offensive foul. 5 minutes and 30 seconds left. Olympiacos is kind of struggling here as he gets called for the hook on Mike James. And Olympiacos is they're playing with fire right now, man. And just as a quick update, as this game is coming to an end, we got a quick update on the Barcelona Bayern Munich game. Barcelona was able to escape with the win, 75-66, and it looks like Mirotic had a great game there, scoring 25 points and 6 rebounds, 3 assists. So that was a good game for Barcelona, as they are 1 game away from heading to the Final Four. But back to our game, we have a 4-point lead here, man. It's Olympiacos, man, they playing with some serious fire right now, man. The momentum is definitely not in their favor.
Monaco's not a team you want to let them get the momentum either. That's especially
Definitely
at home,
not.
especially a place that you're not used to playing in. This is this last 5 minutes here, each possession, you're going to see the crucial attitude here from everybody.
For sure, man. I can feel the tension. It looks like Mike James picks up a foul on that reach in. Yeah, come on, Mike. You knew you got him. It's funny, man. Players like because I watch so much basketball now, I could be critical. The players never foul. They never foul. It's always like, yo, what's going on?
Never.
They never foul.
I think sometimes we're just amazed that they saw it. Like, you quick reach in, you get him on the arm. It's like they
you didn't see that.
He saw that, like right, like.
Nah, but the worst is like when you commit a foul, let's say on the right side of the floor, and then the ref, deep in the left, deep in the corner, blows the whistle. It's like, bro, no way you saw that. Like, no way you saw. I fouled him, but no way you saw that.
They have such a tough job, man. I'll give benefit of the doubt to the ref, because being able to see things in real time and the quicker the speed and everything, and to have to make a split decision. Some of these things, man, it's just impossible for any regular person to try and like notice it, see it, or even players like try and be on that end of it. And it's such a tough job, and you got to hear it from everybody. You got to hear it from thousands of people every time you make a call.
You don't have fans. You don't have fans.
No,
you're a ref. Euro fans, man. But Kostas Slukas is at the free throw line now, 69-74. 69-75. Dave King says Monaco is going to win. Okay, and let's see what else is going on here. We got some other fans. We got some fans from Turkey, Greece. Whole lot of Turkey fans are in here. But yeah, welcome everybody from all over the place. And Suklu of Kelly, welcome as well. But yeah, 69-75. Slukas, man, he's a big time
closer.
Oh, it's a 2-pointer. I thought it was a 3-pointer. 2-pointer with 4 minutes left, man. He's so clutch, man. I feel like Slukas, Sergio Rodriguez, Sergio Yul, they live for these moments. Like, they live for the fourth quarter, under 5-minute marks. It's like they could be doing nothing the entire game, and they will turn up for those 5 minutes, man.
Man, they have it. They have that thing about them, that closer mentality, that they've been doing it for so long too. It seems like they've been doing it forever. Like, just when I had the privilege to play with Sergio Rodriguez, it was like he wanted those moments in practice too. Like he loved when
Okay.
like in practice we were if the clock was on and we weren't just doing like possession. If the clock was on, like Sergio, like he wanted that possession. He wanted that last. Like he
Right.
was gonna get that moment. And it's just the guys like if they like those moments, those players they live for it every day.
No, that's a fact, man. And you know, while we got a little time here, who would you say has been the MVP of this game? The most valuable player of this entire game is Dwayne Bacon hits a huge three-pointer, 72-77. Who would
Yeah,
you say is the MVP
I
of
would
this
give
game?
this I would give this to Lucas. I would give this to
hmm
Lucas right now. I mean, Olympiacos pulls this out. That's the guy who's been creating the majority of offense for him. And I know he turned the ball over there. Bad time to give him the nod, but I think he's been by far the most consistent guy, half to half, on
Right.
Olympiacos team.
Yeah, nah, Dwayne Bacon's been playing a heck of a game too, as he just got that steal after that three-pointer. But yeah, nah, both players are playing well, man. But we got a three-point game here, man. 74-77, man. 2 minutes and 45 seconds left as Paris Lee hits the tray ball to tie it up. And here we go.
I got to give a
Here
quick
we
shout
go.
out to Paris Lee. We came out of the same high school class in Illinois, and
Okay.
we took our official visit to Illinois State together,
Oh
and
wow.
we took that visit together. And so he ended up choosing Illinois State. I didn't, obviously. I ended up in Valpo, but I gotta give a nice little shout out to Paris Lee. Love seeing him have success at this
Man, the
uh
basketball
at
world's
this
so
level and in the
small,
playoffs.
man. I mean, think about it. You guys are on a visit
Unbelievable,
together and now competing against each other like halfway across the world, man. That's basketball world so
unbelievable.
small, man. Beauty of it as well. Beauty of it as well, man. That's really cool, man. But man, we got a brand new game. We knotted up at 77. Man, Olympiacos is playing with fire. And yeah, now
Yeah, we'll
they
see.
now they got themselves
Playoff
in a position.
playoff basketball. I had a good coach and mentor of mine tell me that playoff basketball, it's not always about who makes the most plays or who makes the biggest plays. It's about who makes the next play. So, obviously big
Okay.
play just happened for Monaco right now. Like who's
Right.
gonna make the next play? Who's gonna make and
Yeah.
then after that, like, whoever can make the next play is the team that wins. And
Yeah.
I guess we'll see
Yeah.
coming out of timeout here. We'll see where Olympiacos goes to. I can't imagine they'll go away from Kostas Lucas here. We'll see.
Yeah. Nah, it's yeah, you gotta give Kostas the ball. He's been hooping, he's been finishing well. I'll get something going to the basket, man. I mean, Monaco doesn't have a shot blocking presence in there right now, especially with Hall out. That's a tough shot. Oh, big offensive rebound by Mustafa Fall. Got to finish that. Dorsey with a tough finish with a layup, man. 79-77. We under 2 minutes.
Always
We
in
under
attack
2
mode.
minutes.
Always in
Here we
attack mode.
go. Man, gotta have short memory, man. Take a tough shot, get the ball back, and make a tough one. As Mike James shoots the three, misses. Lucas with a rebound, a run out from Dorsey. Oh, he missed it. Missed the layup on the transition.
Yeah, you'd almost like to
77-79.
see him pull that. You'd almost like to
Yeah, I
see him pull
almost
that
pulled
one
it
out
out,
there. I
right?
know he's in
Yeah,
attack
yeah,
mode.
yeah. Yeah, now Paris Lee gets a wide open three-pointer, man. Oh, 80-79. Yeah, you low-key wanted him to kind of pull that out. But Monaco's
Hindsight's
up
always
80-79.
20/20.
Yeah, that's true.
Always
That's true. I
20/20.
mean, he just
If he
made a
goes and
layup.
scores that,
I get it.
yeah.
That's a foul. That's definitely a foul. Yeah, nah, for sure. And he just made the layup before that. You know what I mean? I think he tried to get a
Right.
little too saucy with it. He should have just, went strong hand right over the top of him like normal. But it is what it is. Here we are at the free throw line. Thomas walk up, 80-79, minute 16 left. This is where the free throws, man. Remember we was talking about those free throws in the third quarter?
Free throws.
Like I bet you they
Free
wish they had
throws.
those right now. Olympiacos left all them free throws
Think about that.
on the table, man. Big shots. Thomas Walker knocks down both free throws. We got 80-81 here. 80-81.
Coach
Olympiacos.
Barzokas letting out a deep breath there.
Oh yeah, for sure. Let's see. Okay, we got to switch. We got to switch here. Sit down, Tyler. You got to sit down. He's on that island. Dwayne Bacon, Mrs. Long, big time rebound by Vezenkov. Big time rebound. Don't bring it up. You got 8 seconds. Big time rebound. Get it to Slukas. Let's see. 45 seconds left. 45 seconds left. Olympiacos up 81-80. Oh, they tried to. Man, Mike. Oh, did Mike foul out? Yeah, it looks like Mike James just fouled out. Why did he gamble on that? Yeah. You know, it's like moments like those, like just stay solid. Just stay solid.
Yeah, you had him
man.
deep in the clock. Yeah, you had him deep in the clock. You rotated.
Yeah, and he came from
the
opposite side, right?
You had the ball out of Slukas' hands. Obviously, he was going to try and come back and get it, but you had him on their heels. If you just had solid defense, but man, you get these guys at the end of the game. Guy like Mike, guy like close to Slukas. You know, these guys that have been such great players, and they sometimes their feel takes over, and he makes that steal there. He's a hero. You know, he goes down, scores, hero play.
Yeah.
Everybody's talking about it, and it's risk reward. You're always weighing that as a player on the defensive end. It's like, if I go for this, might look great, might look stupid, but guys who play like that, when they end up with it, they look amazing.
Yeah, he looked like heroes, man, and I think that just that mentality in general is what makes them great. You know, as you were speaking of. But let's check in with our player head-to-head real quick, since Mike James is fouled out. He finished with 13 points and 8 assists. Though he played, I didn't even realize he hadn't scored in that second half. But I mean, he's making things happen on the passing end. As Slukas has 19, 2 assists, and 4 rebounds. That's crazy, man. Like, Mike James impacts the game so much, you know, just from the attention that he draws, you know, his passing ability. Like I said, like, I didn't even realize he hadn't scored in the second half because he was still making plays. You know, he's finding everybody else. And you know, he's a true talent. He's a true talent. But yeah, Olympiacos definitely has to escape this game with the win, especially with Mike James having somewhat of a calm night. You definitely want to, you know, escape those games with the win, because no telling what kind of Mike is going to show up in the next game. As Vezenkov makes a free throw, and Astro Allen, yes, Mike is gone from the game. He fouled out. Motives TV, come on, Monaco. Leak says, who wins this? Looks like Olympiacos is up 83. We have 35 seconds left. So we're gonna see. It's gonna be some heroics. Now, this is where you gotta play solid, man. You definitely don't want to gamble. Are you switching everything here?
Let's see what lineup they have in here, but I would, yeah, especially with you got Mike on the bench, so you know I don't know if they're going to go traditional, just straight pick and roll here and try and attack or what, but looks like they are switching.
They're definitely switching. They're definitely switching. Okay, big fall out there moving his feet. I love it.
That's what I'm saying. It's underrated.
Hey, man.
Underrated, the mobility.
Yo, he was out there moving his feet. He forced him into a tough layup. Now we got a foul, free throws coming for Olympiacos.
Yeah, I thought Westerman had a good look at it. I know Mustafa Fall made it tougher, but I thought he ended up having a decent look. He went to the basket, attacked the big man. I think but Mustafa Fall definitely made him work for it.
Man, I don't know. Decent look. It depends on the player, man. I don't know how his left hand built, but if that was my left hand, if Westerman had my left hand, it's a bad shot. It's definitely a bad shot, but you know, it was tough, and Vezenkov knocked it off. So now we have 85-80 with 10 seconds left. I'm normally one to jump the gun, but I'm gonna go ahead and say that this game is over. Anything can happen in 10 seconds. Yes, I know, but I like to jump the gun here. I think this one is over, man. But man, this has been, regardless of what happens here in these last 10 seconds, man, this has been a great game. Been a really good
Great
game.
game, and I think if you're Olympiacos and you would have told them you're going to score 14 points in the fourth quarter, but you're going to pull out a win, they'd probably be like, "Are you serious? Like, how's that happen?" But
Right.
here we are, maybe the 14 in the fourth quarter, and you got a 4-point lead, or 5-point lead now, I believe. Yeah, 5-point
Yeah,
lead, and you're in the driver's seat. It's just a matter it's make or miss now. Monaco's going to come down and
right.
make, miss, rebound, game. We'll see.
What do you think Olympiacos closes it out next game?
Yeah, I see it as this. It's such just a killer when you get that third game loss and you go down
Mhm.
2-1. And I know you're at home, and I know you kind of have to rally around the fact that it was a close game. You guys did everything you could to get there, made it tough.
Mhm.
But man, I think Olympiacos is blood in the water right now. I think Monaco, they're going to look
Ooh, that's a big
at what
three.
went well this game and what. Well, there you go.
Dwayne Bacon hits a huge three,
Different.
83-85. Maybe I spoke too soon. We got 6 seconds left.
Right. I
Maybe I,
cut
maybe I
myself off.
spoke
I
too
don't want to.
soon.
I don't want to go any further. I don't want to go any further on the next game talk.
Hey man, I jumped the gun, man. I jumped the gun. This is what I do. This is what I do. It's okay. It's okay, man. But all right. So like, as long as you got to get an inbound, we've seen crazier things happen. You know what I mean? A lot of things can happen here, but you want to get a clean inbound to a good free throw shooter, and hopefully that'll seal the deal for you. But man, that was a huge
Yeah.
three by Dwayne Bacon, man.
Yeah, I think Olympiacos is going to put a good lineup of free throw shooters in, and yeah, it's all about getting that ball in bounds. You don't want to put yourself in a turnover or anything. If you're Monaco, you gotta get that foul in quick. You gotta try and extend this game because 6 seconds, 6.5 seconds is not time to look for the steal after the inbounds.
Yeah, yeah,
It's
nah, for
foul and send them
sure.
to the line.
Yeah, you definitely need to save time as much as possible. That's a tough shot there, man. Tough shot. Dwayne Bacon's been having a heck of a game here. Let's see if they can get the ball inbounds, man. It's funny, man. The pressure of that inbounder. Got them long arms in front of you. You 6'9", so you probably haven't been through these situations, but as a smaller guard, the game's on the line. You got that 6'9" individual in front of you, jumping jacks. It gets tough. Man, he looked like that foul came kind of
You got to
late.
foul. You got to foul. Yeah,
Yeah.
you gotta give yourself time.
Yeah, 3.9 seconds. Dwayne Bacon has 23 points in this game. Will Thomas with 15. He's been playing well, man. Definitely been playing well. Sasha Vezenkov, 17, 9. And he drew 7 fouls. Kostas knocks it down, man. One more free throw and it's over, man. One more free throw. One more free throw, and Alec and I start talking about game 4.
Finally.
Oh, man. Knock this down, baby. There it is. There it is. 4-point game. 83-87. Looks like this one is over. Dwayne Bacon's going to take the final 3, and he misses. And Olympiacos is 1 game away from heading to the final 4. Man, hats off to both teams, man. That was a great game. They both played extremely well. Slukas with 21. Dwayne Bacon at 23 on the opposite end. But man, I above all of that, man, I appreciate you pulling up to the watch along, man, in the middle of your busy season, man. It was a pleasure to sit here and talk to you, man. I appreciate your insight and commentary, man. And nah, man, it's been a pleasure.
Well, thank you. I think what you've done, creating the awareness for everybody over here in that regard, and the content and stuff you've been doing has been awesome to follow, awesome to be a part of. So thank you for having me on. Thank you for giving me the opportunity. Enjoyed watching the game with you.
No, much appreciated, much appreciated. And everybody back home, please like and subscribe to EuroLeague's YouTube channel, and then go on your cell phones and go and subscribe, follow, or do what you got to do on the other EuroLeague social channels. We'll be back here on Friday to watch Game 4 between Bayern Munich and Barcelona. This Friday, it'll be at 2020 Central Eastern European time. We'll have another special guest. That is it for this week's show. As always, I want you guys to be healthy, and I'll see you guys on Friday, and we're out.